Hey guys, Wet Movie One back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update video for you guys today. It's been about 2 weeks or so since my last one. I got a big old stack of awesomeness here to talk to you guys about today. And also my mom's gonna pop in with her guest review a little bit later on in this video here. But before I get started with it, guys, please hit that like button if you guys enjoy my content in any fashion. And also drop a comment down below and let me know what kind of cool new Blu-rays or DVDs you guys picked up recently. And also, some of the movies I talk about or DVDs I talk about in this video here, let me know which ones you guys are more interested in checking out, you know, from my review and things down in the comments down below. But let's get started with it here. First up from Arrow Video US is a cheesy action film that came out in the late 80s, like 1989, starring George Kennedy and Oliver Reed, and that is Hired to Kill here on Blu-ray. This one also comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD inside this pack right here. This is a really, really cheesy, over-the-top action film from the late 80s, also starring Brian Thompson, who also stars in like the original Terminator film. He was also in Stallone's Cobra. And in this film, he plays this missionary who's sent, you know, to this hostile territory to take out this really bad, you know, evil leader guy. But he has to go undercover as a fashion designer and has to assemble all these women, you know, to come with him so, you know, he can put on fashion shows and things so he can like get undercover to take out this bad guy. But the thing is, with these women that he's hiring, they're all badass women fighters that know how to, you know, fight with knives and guns, and they know how to, you know, fight to the, you know, to the death and things like that. But the evil leader guy doesn't know that. It's just a really cheesy, over the top flick with really weird kind of acting and really cheesy fight scenes, but I kind of like this movie. You know what I mean? Just for that alone, like, it's so bad it's good kind of movie. It's just one of those ones that you want to watch with your friends. But like on this Blu-ray here, it has a brand new 4K restoration of the film, a handful of new special features right here. But if you guys love like cheesy action films from like the late 80s, early 90s, definitely check it out. It looks absolutely beautiful here on Blu-ray. All right, everyone. Next up over here from Lionsgate is a movie starring Robert De Niro and Zac Efron, and that is Dirty Grandpa, the unrated version here on Blu-ray. This is the film that came up from Lionsgate this past Tuesday, May 17th right here. In this film, Zac Efron plays this lawyer who's going to his grandmother's funeral at the beginning of this movie to console his grieving grandfather, played by Robert De Niro. And at the beginning of this film, Zac Efron learns that his grandfather needs to go on this little trip, and Zac Efron says, "Hey, I'll take you on this trip." So it's pretty much a buddy, you know, trip movie with, you know, grandson and grandfather, you know, going on a trip. But yet Zac Efron doesn't know that Robert De Niro, his grandfather, is not as clean and prim and proper as he always thought he was. He's a really foul-mouthed, dirty old man, and all he wants to do is, you know, you know, he just wants to get some is what he wants to do, and that's his only mission in life right now after losing his wife. And it's all the craziness that happens on this road trip that you know, grandson and grandfather go on. And I thought this movie was fun. I really did think this movie was a lot of fun, because I'm really into raunchy comedies like the American Pie series, and, you know, just like really, you know, over the top kind of stuff like Van Wilder and stuff. So I really get into, you know, movies like this. But like, I can totally see why a lot of reviewers and critics are like, "Oh my God, why is Robert De Niro doing a movie like this, saying stuff like this?" He's collecting a paycheck and having fun. You know what I mean? He's in the 70s or 80s. He can do whatever he wants to do. You know, if he's gonna have fun doing a movie, might as well, you know, be opposite Zac Efron and Aubrey Plaza, who also stars in this movie. And in this movie, him and Aubrey Plaza are kind of like a thing. They're like going back and forth talking like, "Hey baby, you wanna do it?" "Yeah baby, I wanna do you right now." It's just like a really over the top things that you would not, you know, believe that Robert De Niro would say or do in this movie. He does it in this movie. I thought this movie was just over the top, really, really funny. Like, I was just in the mood for it, you know what I mean? Like, I really did enjoy this movie. I'm not just saying it because I got it to review or anything like that, because if you look back at my past videos, I've always liked movies like this, you know, over the top, raunchy stuff. But make sure if you guys go out there, get the Blu-ray, because the Blu-ray has like 4 or 5 exclusive features on it that the DVD doesn't have, like a gag reel and like a making of featurette talking to the guy that played the drug dealer in this movie, which I thought was a really, really funny featurette on here, especially the gag reel was really, really fun to watch. So if you guys love raunchy comedies, definitely check out Dirty Grandpa, the unrated version here on Blu-ray. And next up over here from Disney is a film that I was interested in checking out, but I didn't get to see it in the theaters, so I'm glad I got it on Blu-ray here. It stars Chris Pine and Casey Affleck, and that is The Finest Hours. This is a movie about a true story that happened back in the early 50s about this oil tanker that was out on sea that got split in half by a big giant wave. So a big group of people, a group of 30 men, were trapped on this boat and were about to die. And this small boat the small crew of guys, of Coast Guard, gets sent out there on a mission that they don't think they're going to be able to do to save these 30 guys, from dying and drowning in the water. And what happens, during this mission that they go on to save these guys. And I found this movie to be really kind of entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, some parts of it reminded me like I was watching Titanic a little bit, with guys on a ship with water, flooding into it, and them trying to figure out what they're gonna do and stuff like that. Like, that's the beautiful scenery and the beautiful shots in this movie. But it's also one of those movies when you're watching it, you're going, I know how it's gonna end. I know how it's gonna end. I just know, you just know, you know what I mean? Even if you don't know the story, behind it, you just kind of like, oh, that's what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, so there's no really big tension, no real big, oh my God moments. Like, really cool, beautiful wave scenery with like big waves, coming up over big, big ships and things, little ships and big ships. It's really kind of, beautiful to look at, but it's just kind of like, you kind of know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? But, like, it has really good acting here. Casey Affleck is really good in here. Chris Pine is really good in here. You also get Ben Foster up in this film right here. You also get a handful of special features, like a making of the film. You also get the director and producers talking about how they talked to a couple of people that this really happened to, before they passed away and things. It's just a really interesting Blu-ray. Definitely check out the documentary that's on here. It's like 15 minutes long, of the producers talking about how they talked to the real people that it happened to. That's the Finest Hours here on Blu-ray. But next up over here from Sony, and this one stars Lily James and Sam Riley, and that is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Here on Blu-ray. Of course, this is a film adaptation from the Jane Austen novel that came out years and years ago, decades ago, but with zombies in it. You know what I mean? Because in the original story of Pride and Prejudice, it's about these sisters that live in the 1800s, that their father's trying to like marry them off, to the rightful suitors, but they don't want to do so. From what I remember, as a kid reading the book or whatever, not reading the book, but like seeing the movies and things. So I'm not a big book reader, but in this one, it's the same sort of story, but with the sister, the group of sisters are zombie fighters, and they're trying to survive the zombie apocalypse, and just trying to keep themselves and their family alive during this time of this outbreak that's happening in their small town in the 1800s and things. I found this movie to be really kind of, not the greatest. Like, the zombie stuff was kind of cool, but like, you didn't get enough of the zombie stuff for me. You know what I mean? There was a little bit more of the love triangle stuff that was going on between like different zombie hunters and the girl and the sisters and things that kind of just made me go, ugh. I thought this was gonna be more of like a zombie Walking Dead, kind of thing. So I'm sure that's why they made this movie, to capitalize on the popular zombie craze that that's going on right now. I mean, the acting was fine. The zombie stuff looked kind of cool. The zombie stuff was cool to me, but it just felt like they needed to integrate the zombies into it a bit more. You know what I mean? Because I was expecting like a real cool kind of badass flick. But you also, like I said, you get Lily James in here, and she was also played Cinderella in the recent Disney live action film. And I thought she was absolutely cool in that film. She's absolutely wonderful here, playing a zombie badass fighter. But like, I don't know, maybe it was just the mood I was in or something. I didn't hate it, I just didn't love it. I just wish there was more zombies, integrated into this thing. But that's Pride and Prejudice and Zombies here on Blu-ray from Sony. And next up over here, guys, from Wellgo USA, is a film I've been really looking forward to checking out because I'm a big martial art fan, and I love Sammo Hung, and he's one of the stars of this film. Also stars Eddie Peng over here, and it's called The Rise of the Legend here on Blu-ray. This is about a guy played by Eddie Peng who's a martial art expert, and years ago, back in his hometown, his father got killed and everything like that, and he went away for a while, learned the martial arts, and is now coming back into town to take out the bad guy that took out his father, back in the day. And that's pretty much the premise of this film. And of course, the bad guy of this film was played by Sammo, the greatest, one of the greatest martial art film actors of all time, next to like Jackie Chan and things like that, who are best, friends and things. And it was just a really fun action flick and things, because this guy that comes back into town, he just doesn't come back into town to kick ass and take names. He comes into town to start working for the bad guy, Sammo Hung, and interweave himself into that bad guy's life just to like take him out and things like that. It was just a really fun story here. There's also like a nice little twist at the end of this movie. If you guys have never seen it before, you guys will get a kick out of it, especially if you're big martial art fans. I thought the action sequences in this film were absolutely amazing. Great fight cinematography in here. I always love movies like this, for the most part, you know what I mean? Like ones that are just down and dirty. Let's go into it. Let's do the fight scenes and let's do it. It's not really heavy, super heavy on story. It's just more get into the fight scene kind of ones. You know what I mean? There's some story in here. Definitely check out Rise of a Legend here on Blu-ray. I really loved it. And next up over here from Warner Brothers is a film starring Dakota Johnson, Rebel Wilson, Alison Brie, and Leslie Mann, and that is How to Be Single here on Blu-ray. This movie is about 4 women who live in New York, who are all single. One of them has just recently got single. One of them was in a relationship. I believe Dakota Johnson's character was just in a relationship for many years and is now moving to New York to try to start a new life, because she doesn't know if she wants to settle down, with the guy that she was with for a very long time. So she moves to New York to hang out with some friends of hers there, and it's just all the craziness that ensues when she goes to New York and just tries to learn how to be single, to see how it feels. Rebel Wilson's the crazy over-the-top friend that always goes out and parties a little bit too hard and is just a little bit too crazy and doesn't really care about work, very much. And we got Leslie Mann's character, who's the older woman of the group here, who's a nurse at a hospital or a doctor at a hospital, and she kind of wants to have a kid but doesn't want to have a kid at the same time. It's just that kind of thing. It's just these 4 women trying to find themselves in New York City and try to figure out what they want in life. Do they want to be single? Do they want to be locked down in a relationship? It's one of those kind of movies, and I kind of enjoyed this one for what it was. I really liked the scenery of New York and just the chemistry between the girls in this film. It's just a really nice little film, and I like how it all kind of ties together, at the end here. It kind of brought a tear to my eye a little bit, and I don't know, I really like this film for what it is. And on this Blu-ray here, you get 3 new featurettes, like behind the scenes making ofs and deleted scenes and things. So definitely check out this Blu-ray if you guys have liked this movie when you saw it, and if you saw it in the theaters. But I like this one. It was pretty fun.
Hi, back again, just real quick. TV series, naturally. This is the complete 4th season of Major Crimes. You know me and my detective and police story stuff. I really like it. Of course, it stars Mary McDonnell, G.W. Bailey, and a host of others, and they're all really great. This particular one on the 4th season has 23 episodes, and I think I'm only about halfway through it. And the show, of course, as you know, is about a team of detectives in the Major Crimes Unit, hence the name. And sometimes along the way they get stuck with what is not a major crime, so the character played by G.W. Bailey, Lieutenant Provenza, always gets upset. Hey, how come this is... what makes this a major crime? I don't know. I just love all the characters. They all have their little idiosyncrasies and that type of thing, which helps this really move along. If you haven't seen it, pick up the 1st season. It was a spin-off from the Kira Sedgwick series, The Closer. So, if you like that, you'll love this. Alrighty? Alright, I guess my time's up. Gotta go!
And then next up over here, very excited to talk about. It's a TV show that I'm finally completed my collection of it on DVD right now, because the Warner Archive collection is finally released to all the seasons of the show now on DVD, and that is Growing Pains, the complete 3rd season here on DVD, the complete 4th season here on DVD, 5th and 6th season here on DVD, and the 7th season of Growing Pains here on DVD. I was always a fan of the show, not as it was airing on television, but as they were being released on DVD, because for many years, Warner Brothers put out the first 2 seasons of Growing Pains on DVD, like officially out in stores and things. And then I guess it didn't sell very well, so they're like, well, we're just gonna stop releasing them for a while. And then after a while, they started releasing them burn on demand. From the Warner Archive collection. You can also get these seasons, the complete seasons of these, on Amazon right now. So if you're a fan of Growing Pains, a show that lasted from, what was it called, 1985 to 1992, for 7 seasons here, you can finally complete your collection and get all of the seasons of Growing Pains now on DVD in here. And each season here contains 3 discs, and every single episode from said season and things. And there's a season on here that I never knew that on here, the final season 7, stars Leonardo DiCaprio. I never knew he was in this show. You know what I mean? Like, I watched a couple of seasons on, like I said, the first 2 seasons on DVD and maybe some random episodes on television back in the day. But I never knew Leonardo DiCaprio, from Titanic and a bunch of other really cool movies, is all up in this show. I never knew that. You know what I mean? And it's just really kind of cool to finally be able to complete my collection, because I've always had the first 2 seasons of this show in my collection for years. Thanks to the Warner Archive collection, you can finally get the complete series now of the show on DVD, burn on demand, so the discs are going to be, blue and things. But if you guys have never seen the show, it stars Kirk Cameron, Alan Thicke, in the show. It's about this family and the trials and tribulations that families go through. It's just a really, really fun show. And another cool thing is about this thing, I can finally say I really did complete my collection of Growing Pains here, because I also got Growing Pains the movie, which was a TV movie that aired back in 2000, what's it called, 7 or 8 years after the original run of the show ended. They came out with a TV movie that aired, and in this one right here, it takes place, like I said, 7-8 years after the original show ended, and it's just following the family now and what they're doing, and how Alan Thicke wants to get Maggie, for their 30th anniversary, 30th wedding anniversary, and get together, and for like a little reunion thing. And plus, and what they're doing now, and Maggie is like really into politics and stuff, and she was like wants to go into the politic game, and she needs her family to help her along the way. And it's an okay movie. I just got done watching it a little while ago. It wasn't the greatest, to be honest, but like this one right here, I also got done watching too, which is Growing Pains, Return of the Seavers, here on DVD, which is another TV movie that came out in 2004, which got all the whole cast back together again for one last television appearance. And in this one, the Seavers, Maggie and what's his name, Jason, the mother and father of the family, are selling their family home, and it's all about the family going, no, don't sell the family home, because they want to sell it and move on, and because all of the kids are grown now and they can do their own stuff, but they want to sell their home, and it's all about the family going, no, we want you to keep the house and things. I really enjoyed this one. It's also directed by the lady that plays Maggie in the family, which I found to be really cool. But it's just really awesome that the Warner Archive can put the complete series plus the bonus movies out on DVD right here. So if you're a fan of the Growing Pains, like I said, definitely check out the Warner Archive collection. You can also get these on Amazon right now if you love Growing Pains. Definitely check it out, and thanks to the Warner Archive, man, really, really awesome. But next up over here, from Wild Eye Releasing, is a movie that my friend Sean C. Phillips is in, and I am in for a quick little appearance here, and that is Grand Theft Auto LA here on DVD. This is also produced by David Sterling. This is the film that I did a couple of years ago. Like, when you watch this movie, I was like, me and Sean were still over 400 pounds. Like, you see us in there going, holy shit, these guys are big as hell in here. But this is like kind of like a parody on the whole Grand Theft Auto video games and things. In this film, it's about these group of women who are just badass characters going on the streets of LA trying to take out drug dealers and things to have the city of LA to themselves, and all the action and craziness that ensues from there. If you guys love cheesy, over the top low budget action movies produced by David Sterling, you guys will definitely get a kick out of this one. Definitely check out Grand Auto Theft LA here on DVD. I thought it was fun, you know what I mean? Like, I like crazy little things like this, and David Sterling's the man, so definitely check out this one on DVD. And next up up over here from Mill Creek Entertainment is a show I got to talk about here because I'm a big fan of this show, and I have all the other DVDs that came out that Sony put out. But now we got the Mad About You, the complete series here on DVD. You get all 7 seasons, all 164 episodes, 14 discs in this set right here. You know, it's pretty much about, you know, Paul Reiser and it stars Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt. They're newlyweds. They're, you know, in this show. They just got married a few months ago, and it's just the trials and tribulations that they go through living in New York, and, you know, how it is to be husband and wife and things. And of course, the reason I like this show the most when I first started getting into it is that Paul Reiser in the show is a filmmaker, a documentarian, and that's how I really got into it. Like that in the show Dawson's Creek. Dawson was like a filmmaker and things, and that was like one of the main things that got me in, you know, to this show and Dawson's Creek, to be honest. But it's just a really funny sitcom that I've always really liked watching. And if you guys are a fan of Mad About You, definitely check out the complete series here on DVD, because Sony never released the complete series of this show on DVD. Like, I believe they released like the first 4 or 5 seasons of the show, and then they put out like a weird best of compilation. But like on here, you get the complete series, which includes the final 2 or 3 seasons that, you know, that never got officially released. So you get the last couple seasons here on DVD from Mill Creek, and that's just really cool that you can get them on here. And you also get, you know, some behind the scenes, you got some bonus features on this set right here. So if you're a fan of the show of Mad About You, definitely check it out. Really awesome set. Love the show. And next couple up here are from Anchor Bay, and the first one up right here is stars Ethan Hawke and Emma Watson, and that is Regression here on Blu-ray. This is a film, like a psychological thriller film about this young girl played by Emma Watson who accuses her father of doing some heinous crime, of doing something really horrendous, and it's about the, you know, what happens and how the cops and detectives, you know, try to crack down and find out what really happened to this girl, because this girl's not really speaking up for herself, you know, in what happened, because she doesn't really know, and the cops don't really know if the father was into some weird demonic, you know, exorcisms, or not exorcisms, but, you know, like weird, you know, black magic, doing weird, you know, satanic kind of things to people, you know, in their house, and the girl just doesn't really know what to say. And it's just how Ethan Hawke tries to unfold, you know, the mystery behind of what happened to this young girl played by Emma Watson in here. And I thought the performances in here were very strong. Some of the movie wasn't as, you know, as powerful as it could have been, but like at some moments watching this movie, like when this one doctor guy's like putting the father under hypnosis and things, it goes into like little flashbacks and things, and it kind of took me back to watching the movie Stir of Echoes a little bit, you know, that starred what's his name, Kevin Bacon. You know how he had like little flashbacks of like, you know, the girl being dead and trying to find her and stuff. It kind of had that kind of vibe to it, and I really kind of dug that, you know, in this movie right here. I thought it was a pretty decent psychological thriller with just some sort of misfires, you know, throughout the film here. But that's Regression, starring Ethan Hawke and Emma Watson. If it sounds interesting to you, definitely give it a chance. It's more of a rental kind of movie, to be honest. And next up over here is a movie I was really surprised it wasn't on Blu-ray, because I really did like this one. It stars Christopher Walken and Amber Heard, and that was called One More Time here on DVD. In this film, Amber Heard plays this musician who, you know, she's a young girl. She's really into playing music and wants to get her name out there. She's like, all she really does is like do jingles for like radio spots and things, like you're listening to KFILA, you know, like, you know, different things like that with groups of people. That's how she makes her money. But yet she's kind of living in the shadow of her father, played by, you know, Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken is was a big time singer, you know, back in his heyday and things like that. And she just can't get out of his shadow. So she ends up going to visit her family and her father and things. And her father is thinking about putting out a new album and stuff. And she's just really kind of depressed and not really knowing what she wants to do with her life. And it's just what happens when she sees her father again after all this time, and, you know, her crazy, you know, dysfunctional family, and, you know, what happens and stuff. I found it to be a really nice, heartfelt drama. And if you guys like Christopher Walken, definitely check out this movie, man. The cast is good. I really did enjoy this one for what it was. No special features on it whatsoever, but I really did dig this one, to be honest. And next up over here from Anchor Bay also is called The Spoils of Dying here on DVD. This was a show I believe that aired on was it IFC or something like that. It stars Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig, and Michael Keith Williams here. It's pretty much about this jazz singer who's accused of murder. at the beginning of this show here of killing these two people, and one of these people, was a person that he was absolutely in love with, and he's accused of killing them, and he has 2 days or 2 or 3 days, to figure out if what he's gonna do, or the cops are gonna arrest him. He has 3 days to prove his innocence. So it's pretty much him going out trying to figure out what the hell is going on to try to prove that he didn't kill these people, but he doesn't know if he did it or not. You know what I mean? Because he blacked out drunk one night and he doesn't know if he did it. And it's just him throughout this mini series here trying to figure out if he did it or not. I found this to be really kind of cool. It also stars Will Ferrell in here, who opens up the show and ends each episode here. I believe it was like 6 or 7, maybe 8 episodes that aired on television. I didn't see it when it aired on television or anything like that, but I found it to be really interesting, really nicely paced. It kind of felt like I was watching a noir kind of movie, because it was kind of like slow kind of pace, but like really, really fun to watch. But that's The Spoils of Dying here on DVD. Really kind of interesting, to be honest. And the next couple up over here are from Olive Films, and the first one up right here stars Scott Baio and Willie Ames, and that is Zapped. Here on Blu-ray. This is the film I remember watching on VHS back in the day and just really getting a kick out of it. It's pretty much about what's his name, Scott Baio's character, who also stars in what was it called again? I forgot. But Happy Days and Charles in Charge. And in this one, he plays a high school student who's like a real big nerd. He's really into science. He's like the science geek in the school. And one day he's like mixing chemicals together and messing with his rats and things. And he mixed the wrong chemicals together. They blow up, in his classroom and things. And then he wakes up on the floor of the science lab. But yet he has these weird powers now. He can like move things with his mind. He has telekinetic powers. So now he's in school using that against bullies, against against people that mess with him in school, and he uses it to help himself. Like they're playing baseball games, he moves the balls in certain ways to make him go a home run so he can win the game and get the girl, kind of thing. I found this movie to be just a whole lot of fun. Like I loved it a lot more when I was younger. It's kind of sort of dated now. It's not as funny or as cool as it was when you first watch it when you're a kid. But like I still liked watching it. It's still fun to revisit. It looks absolutely beautiful on Blu-ray, and it'd be cool if they ever put out Zapped again, because I know they had a sequel to this that came out a few years after here. But it stars Scott Baio, Willie Ames, looks beautiful on Blu-ray. So if you're a fan, just want to let you know it's out on Blu-ray now. Alright everyone, and next up over here from Olive Films also is a film that came out in the late 70s, stars John Lithgow, who you guys all know from Third Rock from the Sun and things, and it's a movie called Rich Kids, a film I've never seen before until I got this Blu-ray here, and it's about these two young kids. They both live in families that are kind of dysfunctional, like their parents are kind of getting divorces. Franny's mother and father are about to get a divorce, and she just sort of knows it's about to happen, and she doesn't like the fact that it's about to happen, and her best friend in New York, Jamie or whatever, Franny and Jamie are the two main kids in this movie, and the young boy he's like a really rich kid, and his family is really super dysfunctional too. He sort of lives with his father, who's kind of like a playboy who goes out with all these different women, every night of the week kind of thing. And it's about how these two find each other in New York, going to the same school, and they find out that they both have the same similar problems in their families going on, and it's about them, striking up a relationship with one another, and how they get through, the stress in their young lives about their families being so dysfunctional and getting divorces and things in New York. It's a really simple story, but like I really found this movie to be really lovely. You know what I mean? Like I really did enjoy this film for what it was. Really nicely acted. It kind of had some slow paces to it because it's made in the late 70s. Kind of has that late 70s vibe to it. But like I enjoyed this movie. I'd never seen it before until I got this Blu-ray, but I found this one to be really cool. Like I really did dig this the whole vibe of this film here. But that's Rich Kids. Let me know if you guys seen it before down in the comments. And next up over here from Olive Films also is Agent Cody Banks. Here on Blu-ray, starring, of course, Frankie Muniz and Hilary Duff here. In this film, of course, it's called Frankie Muniz plays this teenager who works for the CIA to help take out, bad guys and things, but yet he's just a regular high school student, living his day-to-day life with this, with his family. I always liked this movie because I love, family-friendly films, and this one I've always really liked. I even liked the sequel that came out. I believe it starred Anthony Anderson, but it wasn't as cool as the original film here. But I only ever had one gripe with this movie, and that is how did Frankie Muniz's parents not know that the CIA was training training Frankie Muniz for years to be a crime fighter, secret agent, kind of like, Mission Impossible, kind of Tom Cruise kind of type, without them knowing. You know what I mean? Like, how does the parents not know that? Like, how did Frankie Muniz go off on training missions and things without his family knowing that he was doing that? That's the only gripe I ever had with these movies. But the cool thing is about all the films releasing this film on Blu-ray is you get all the original special features that were on the previous edition of it on DVD. So if you want to upgrade it, you can. You get all the same special features, and it looks beautiful here on Blu-ray. So if you're a fan, just want to let you know what's out now on Blu-ray. And next up over here from Film Detective is a movie starring Boris Karloff and Jack Nicholson, and it came out back in 1963, and it's called The Terror here on Blu-ray. I always like watching older school horror films sometimes, and this one right here is also directed by Roger Corman, who also directed the original, called The Little Shop of Horrors back in the day, who also starred, Jack Nicholson and things. I believe Roger Corman was the person that gave Jack Nicholson his original start, in the movie business, if I'm not mistaken. In this film, it's about Jack Nicholson. He's riding along the countryside on his horse at the beginning of this film, and he sees this beautiful woman on the waterfront, near the beach, and he gets infatuated with her and wants to know more about her, but yet she disappears randomly. And he's like, wait, what happened to her? What's going on? Until she appears again a little bit later on in the movie. And he goes, okay, I need to know your name. I need to know what's going on. Where are you from? But she doesn't really say much. And then she just disappears again. Until he finds out that it's a ghost, of Boris Karloff. Boris Karloff's wife that died years ago, and he ends up going to Boris Karloff's big castle, a big castle mansion place, and to stay there a night or two, and what happens when he stays in that house. I found this movie to be really kind of cool. It's not as cool as some of the older Roger Corman flicks and stuff, but Boris Karloff is amazing in this movie. Jack Nicholson is really cool, but it's only 79 minutes long. But if you're a fan of Boris Karloff and Jack Nicholson, young Jack Nicholson, definitely check out this Blu-ray here. It's really kind of cool. And next up over here from PBS is Jackie Robinson, the new Ken Burns documentary here about one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived. Of course, next to like Babe Ruth and things. And this is a documentary about the man and how he grew up, and how he got into playing baseball and things, and how back in the day he was just an all-around great sports player in baseball, football, basketball, like all these different sports, and how he evolved himself in the baseball game, and how he went into politics. I found this movie to be a really good documentary here. You also get an interview in here with Jackie Robinson's wife, talking about the man himself. But if you're a baseball fan, a baseball enthusiast, you definitely got to check out this documentary. You get some really good insight on the man himself, Jackie Robinson. You get a 2-disc Blu-ray. It's like a really very long documentary, but really super in-depth. So if you're a fan of Jackie Robinson, definitely check out this documentary here. But last but not least, up over here is from RLJ Entertainment, and it's called Monsterland here on DVD right here. This is a new horror movie anthology, kind of like in the vein of like Creepshow, but this one right here features a handful of horror shorts and monster shorts, and the main reason I wanted to get this DVD to look at anyway is because one of the horror shorts in here is directed by one of my good friends, Graham Denman, who you guys all know from my videos and things that I did with Jose, a handful of months back or years back, stuff, and he has a horror short in here that he directed, and it's about this one guy, this guy that he's going to visit this dentist guy at his house. He's going, hey, doc, I need your help, man. I'm really having a pain in my mouth. I need you to take out these teeth. I don't know what's going on, dude. I think I might be turning into a vampire or something. And it's about what happens when this, this dentist guy is going, what, dude, get the hell out of my house. And it says what happens, in this short little 5-minute, span, what happens between the two people, and is this guy a vampire? What's going on with this doctor letting this random guy in his house? It's really kind of a well-directed, short there. I'm not saying it because he's my friend, but I thought the short was really cool. I saw it when he posted it on Facebook months and months back. But if you guys love horror anthologies, definitely check this one out. It has some really cool horror shorts in here. I really like the wraparound story in here. It's about this, the wraparound story is about this one guy who's like, it's the end of the world, all these zombies and people are everywhere and people are dying, and it's about this one guy, the last person on Earth, who runs into this movie theater, you know, to get away from all this madness, and he's sitting down to watch one last movie marathon, you know, before the world ends or he dies and things, and the movie marathon that he watches is all the horror movie shorts that you get in this DVD here, which I think is kind of a cool way to, you know, get all these movies to work together. And I don't know, I thought this was cool. It's not one of the better, you know, horror anthologies out there, but Graham Denman's one is awesome. Definitely check it out, man. It's called Monsterland. Well, guys, that's all I have to talk to you guys about today for this Blu-ray DVD update. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys all next time.